Culture is important to every member of the tribe, and we learn about our culture just by being Choctaws, just by living daily. Choctaws lived with a society that was complex. They were mostly agricultural.
A lot of them knew how to farm. They were pretty good at it, so they just worked for the white people and got their food that way so that they could survive.
A lot of the Choctaws work as sharecroppers. My family was one of them, where we had to go out in the field and chop cotton or corn.
My mom gets up early in the morning, about 4, cooked us some breakfast. And if we missed that breakfast, we had to do without it, because when the sun's up, they expecting us to be in the field. So a lot of time I missed my breakfast because I couldn't get up in time.
And we didn't have running water nor bathroom facilities at all living in that time.
But we survived. And during the winter time, there's nothing else to do. My dad used to go work for somebody else, like hauling logs or whatever. That's what he used to do to keep us going through the winter. And a lot of time he would be up like 3 o'clock in the morning and hunt some rabbit or something for us to eat during the day.
Once they start building the new hut houses, that's where my mama started living, where going to the factory job, working. Like Carthage is about 25 miles from here. That's how she bring in money to pay the rent.
So when I was 7 years old, I went to school. I didn't know any English at all. And the teachers were, of course, they were all English. And there's English-speaking people.
My grandma, she tended to keep talking to us in our language. And she always said, Chata Chakyon, you're Choctaw.
You can see us and identify us as Indian people, but in order to identify us as Choctaw people, you have to see the language we're using. So we've tried to embed it into our children. If you say you're Choctaw, you must be able to speak the language.
I found out other Native Americans didn't have their language, which coming back to the reservation, I can see that we were lucky to have our language.
This is a part of my culture, being able to speak in my language, which is Choctaw. 97% of the 4 and 5-year-olds that I tested are non-Choctaw speakers. And that's one thing I don't want to do, is just lose our language. This is part of our identity as the Choctaw people.
That means you're Choctaw, you're supposed to speak Choctaw.
Things that took to Conica, because 15 years old only Fukaliga go mamas, but she took 15, Well, she said she doesn't really remember when she was young, when she was a child as she was growing up. But at the time she could remember, she was 15 years old when her mother taught her how to sew the dress. She said the only thing she's doing that she knows that she's a Choctaw and she never wants to change from there on the dress part.
We speak English, we speak Choctaw, and we understand each culture, but What is so important about the Choctaw culture is the many things that we have attained from what is passed on to us from generation to generation.
Usi sama makatin sa tigit may tileto ka masih kibeto kos. Ito ko umutas na tahali mat ano tigipileto. Lukas anato mamitik siya to. Jeff Salman ako teacher tanta makalalito. Himatik hanalito.
She says that her mother, she made baskets, and when she was growing up, she saw her mother's work and she started learning. Then she got more interested with Jeffy Solomon's work, and she became a basket maker.
We try everything to preserve our culture by, for one example, is the Choctaw Indian Fair.
We got kids of different ages that wants to learn how to weave baskets. But instead of using real cane, we came up with hopkins. So that's what we're using to teach these that wants to learn how to weave baskets.
The fair itself kind of like a homecoming. This is just bringing together of all facets of Choctaw culture all at one time.
When I see my group, it make me happy, make me proud.
My dad was a dancer, and he danced during the fair time. That's how I remember it, and watching him go practice. I don't know how many students has through my teaching, and then I sit there this week seeing their kids was out there dancing, and then some of them had their own group. This is something that I was hoping that it would be done, and I think that they will be keeping this alive now. It's going to be continued.
All of the groups they have little babies, and I'm proud that we could carry these on to our little ones.
I started dancing when I was like probably about 5 years old. I like to say I like everyone.
I learned it from my grandmother and grandpa. It's been in the family tradition for, I don't know, so many years. Came down to me, and I'm trying to keep it going. Teaching all the kids, everybody that wants to learn. I don't want to lose it.
It's usually the fair we see more communities bringing forth their dancers and then stickball.
History tells us that Choctaws has been playing this game for centuries. My dad used to refer to it as the granddaddy of all American sports. They say I developed a goalie position for the stickball because that's where I played most of my life. To start the game, a toss-up, tackling is allowed. You can bat that ball. You can scoop that ball. So we have the modern day elements in the game of stickball.
In the past, it was more used to settle disputes among communities. But then when you got into the fair time, 1940s, 50s, 60s, it became more of an exhibition. But now, teams are so geared up to win the championship, you see them getting ready in February. The intensity level, the competitive level is high now.
I played first, and I learned, I look and see what it looked like. And then I start practicing making it. It took me a long time to make it, but I did learn it from my forefathers. And once you make this one, you strain these hand a lot, which usually take about good day, half a day for one. You know, but it's going to take time. You want to do it real good.
Young people learning how to make sticks. They see it not only as a way of holding on to traditions, but also financially it helps because you can always make sticks for people and charge whatever you want to charge.
arts and crafts is part of the cultural tradition. The beadwork, basket, mainly basket was known for Choctaw people for survival because when they made basket in the early days, they made an exchange for like food for survival. So basket is known for its livelihood as well as necessity, and it's part of being recognized as a Choctaw.
If you look at Choctaw arts and crafts, you always see the diamonds and the representative of the rattlesnakes, and the rattlesnake helped quite a bit by eating the mice and other things that would destroy the crops.
My grandma used to make necklaces like these too. My mom made all kind of different beadworks. And then that in itself kind of tell us who we are besides our own language and all that. So that in a way makes us be different amongst the different tribes, even though sometimes you may see something that kind of looks similar. But doing the beadwork or basket work just makes you as a person that's carrying on the tradition, so we can pass it on to our little ones when they want to learn.
I've been coming here since I was probably 3, 4, 5 years old. I'm making a medallion right now with rhinestones around it, and my grandma showed me how to make it when I was younger.
You think it's something that you're going to teach other people how to do?
Yeah, I'll probably teach them.
Our people and our food and our traditions, our culture, our beads, our dresses, our basket, everything is just beautiful about it.
The drum beat represents your heartbeat. It's about celebration of life.
Yeah.